Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. We have a few minutes before the market bell ring. But today, of course, let's talk about what's causing red. The US market is looking to open deep in the red. What came out this morning as spooking investors. But regardless, let me show you some stuff about Bitcoin. I'll blow you away. 50,000 by the end of this year? Well, this one chart said so. And it's not just this one chart. Many people feel it could happen. So let's talk about it as well. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Take a look right now. Ooh, it's looking ugly. It's looking ugly. We have a couple of minutes. Dow is down 300. NASDAQ down 200. What happened this morning? What happened this morning? You know, Bitcoin is still holding. Bitcoin is still at 24.4, basically. Still holding above this important resistance that has now hopefully turned into a support. Okay, but what happened this morning? Well, a couple economic data spooked Wall Street. Wholesale prices went up about 0.7% in January. So people obviously don't like that because everyone's looking at inflation, worry about inflation. So wholesale price went up, meaning that's not good. Things are getting more expensive, right? So there's that. Also, we had another inflation reading, PPI this time, which is a little bit different than CPI, but generally speaking, still measuring inflation, right? And you can see previous month in December, we're at 6.5%. Now we're at 6%, but it was anticipated that it was supposed to go down to 5.4%. So we missed the forecast. I don't know why the forecast would be down over percent. That seems unreasonable. The overall inflation, according to PPI, still went down by 0.5% month to month. This forecast seems to be way off. So there's that too. This also did not meet expectations in a bad way, right? So this combined with the wholesale prices being higher, no good. No good. This is what's spooking investors today. And on top of that, there's the market bell. And on top of that, Biden is going to he's going to chime in on all these UFOs that the military has been shooting down. I don't know if this has anything to do with what the market's going through. But supposedly, as soon as even today, he's going to do some kind of press conference and talk about all these aerial objects. They don't call it UFOs anymore. They call it aerial objects that the military shot down. And I don't know what he's going to say. Is he going to be truthful? Is he going to reveal the origins of those crafts or what? I don't know. But, yeah, I think overall today it could be ugly because of the inflation data and basically both pieces of inflation data. But that's the U.S. market, though. I mean, overall, Bitcoin is still holding very strong, 24.4. I mean, yes, it came down a little bit, but we can't complain. Yesterday, we had a tremendous run up, right? And now we're taking a slight breather, okay? And it could continue forward. It definitely could continue forward. So what's this about 50,000 Bitcoin that I mentioned, right? I did see this, and I did pull this chart from that article. And this is just looking at a Fibonacci level, the 1.618 level. And why this is important is because previous times when Bitcoin has fallen down, okay, to its low after a bear market, after a huge correction, right? We tend to see these tremendous rises, tremendous recovery afterwards. And that point is important because we have seen something like that happen. I mean, actually, not just once, but very often. In 2019, it happened. So take a look right now. According to halving cycle, right? If you look at where we are, we're exactly where we are supposed to be. Coming off from the top, going back down to that very low bottom point and recovering upwards, right? And in 2018, leading to 2019, Bitcoin had a tremendous run up to that same Fibonacci level, right? It went from 3,000 to 14,000 within a matter of months. And then unfortunately we came back down again a little bit because it was a little bit too fast, right? So if you're looking at our current trajectory, which is in red right now, right? We're at exactly the point before Bitcoin tends to run up quite a lot because we're coming off from bottom. Now the blue one, that was 2 cycles ago. So that one was, it's a little bit off because Bitcoin was much smaller then. Obviously no institutional adoption, no country adoption, no any adoption really, just driven by retail investors. The 2017 cycle, the one last time, a little bit more money, right? The dollar amount obviously bigger, and just, DeFi was getting started. But this time around, we have a whole bunch more. So this recovery up could be quite tremendous, right? And we're talking about this is just this year. This is not even after the halving event. Just the recovery alone for this year could be tremendous. So this is showing if we get to that point, we're talking about in the 50,000 range. And I know many people have talked about this already. 50,000 this is projecting somewhere around like August, September timeframe, right? Which means we could still have up and down movement. But if we're following the same path as previous cycles, right, we could have that tremendous upside from here, and that'll be crazy. And my camera is cutting it off, but you can also see on the bottom there. Let me remove my camera. We're also in a bullish divergence on the weekly chart too, which, as the name implies, is bullish. So something to look forward to. We had a tremendous January. So far, a pretty good February, right? Will it continue into March? Well, here's one that's looking at the trend over many, 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 many years. And you could see if you kind of shrink down the whole year to whether you have a net gain or net loss, only 3 years so far has been net losses, right? You could see in 2014 coming off a huge rise. Yes, we had a fall. You see 2018, yes, we had a fall. 2022, yes, we had a fall, right? But what happens when we have a fall? You have 3 consecutive years afterwards, right? And we're in that year 1 in 2023. And then we have 2024, which is the halving event. And then 2025, the year after halving event. That is, there's a lot of upside is what I'm trying to say. 3 years after one down year. Generally speaking, the first year afterwards not going to get you back to the previous high. So if we do hit like 50,000 by the end of the year, well, that would align with everything else because we're still lower than the 69,000 top, right? But then year 2 is when we break through that top, and year 3 is when we go even higher, sometimes parabolically higher. So we're right on track. We're right on track. Now, what spurred up the pump yesterday, right? Everyone's trying to speculate. No one will truly know. But according to Look On Chain, there's been a ton of institutional buying. In fact, they said $1.6 billion worth of buying since a week ago, less than a week ago, since February 10th. I've been showing you guys a lot of articles about these big banks, institutions, the BlackRocks of the world, right? All getting involved. Yeah, they're the ones that's pouring in the billions. Billion to them is like chump change. It's chump change. But this is the reason why Bitcoin has been going up, because you just have a whole lot of buying, a lot more buying than selling. And these big boys are buying. And why are they buying? Well, they must know something, right? Because they're trying to prepare for the future. And they know the markets will recover, right? The Fed will become dovish sometime this year. We may get that pivot this year, right? Money is sitting on the sidelines. People don't want to miss out on a tremendous upside, right? So money is starting to flow in. And what better to buy than Bitcoin and crypto, right? So that's exactly what's happening right now. You also have other charts like this, which is showing The RSI crossing above the 14-day SMA on the 3-week chart. And, you know, I know it's kind of random, but still, every time that has happened, you can see a little fire mark, right? Every time that has happened, great things have happened to Bitcoin afterwards. Very, very great things have happened. The last time this happened was after that COVID crash in March of 2020. And again, we actually went down to 3,800. Just keep that in mind. Bitcoin was at 3,800 back in March of 2020. Ethereum was under $100, okay? And after this event happened, Bitcoin went up to 64,000 before taking a recovery. Okay, so think about that. Think about that. All right, and then what else? Well, a few other people that are very bullish. Mike Novogratz at Galaxy Digital says, you would not be surprised if Bitcoin hits 30,000 by the end of this quarter. That means by the end of March. Can Bitcoin hit 30,000, seeing how we're at 24,000? Yeah, we could be at 30,000 in no time. Okay? Even Keanu Reeves, someone that lived in Matrix, says Bitcoin is an amazing tool for exchange of resources. Criticizing it is only going to make it better. It sounds like Keanu has gotten out of the Matrix. And then also, I saw this. Wyoming lawmakers passed bill prohibiting forced disclosure of private crypto keys. Ooh, that's very positive. That's very positive. That means they cannot force you to disclose your private key to your wallet. But there's an asterisk, unless it's absolutely necessary. So if there's any other means, right, they won't force you to, but if the FBI is hounding you for it, then you'll probably be compelled to give it up. But you know what? Hey, can really anyone force you to disclose your private keys, right? If you have it memorized, and a lot of people do, no one could take that away from you, right? I think most people don't have it memorized, but you could. 12 words? If you try, you can memorize that very easily. And some that are 24-word recovery phrase, you could remember that if you wanted to. All right. So outside of all the bullishness for Bitcoin, some of you guys are probably very bullish about this. So SHIB's Layer 2 Shibarium is about to be released. Okay, they were going to release the timeline, but the developer said that one of his main guys has some family issues or something, but they're about to. It's imminent that they are about to release more information about Shibarium, when it's going to release, right? And this has a whole lot of people very, very excited. Shibarium is a Layer 2. Basically, it would compete with the likes of Polygon, right? And Arbitrum and Optimism and anything else that's EVM compatible, right? This is really going to make SHIB less like a meme coin and more like a really promising project, right? Even though they are still considered a meme coin and fun in nature, but they really have a lot of things going on right now. So this is going to come out anytime now, imminent, and that'll be pretty positive. And speaking of Polygon, whales, I've been talking a lot about Polygon recently. They've been doing really well, but whales continue to accumulate another 55 million Matic to their holdings. That you can see that's been going up and up and up and up since January. The whales are coming back, buying and holding Matic, which is why it has been recovering pretty well. Also, another L1, L2 that whales are snapping up, this Ethereum rival, is actually Fantom. And you guys know I'm a big fan of Fantom, and Fantom has also done very well recently. 260 million of accumulation recently in Fantom. That's absolutely fantastic. You can see right there, boom, boom, big rise. And even though this project has not moved all that much, but there's still a big following, and that is Cardano. Cardano also sees a ton of whale activity, right? Basically, bottom line is people are buying again, all right? Whether it's institutional buying, whale buying, shrimp buying, doesn't matter. People are getting excited again, right? And they're buying. That's what you're supposed to do. Buy low and sell high, right? Even though we're not as low as 15,000 or 16,000 or 18,000 or 20,000, right? But we are definitely lower than our previous highs, and there's a long way to go, right? So that's pretty much it. Let's see where the market is right now. US market looking bad. Bad. A lot of people freaking out. Today, Coinbase is down, down 7%. Yesterday, it was up 17%, down 7%. That almost wipes it out completely. Tesla is down a little bit, but today is a pretty good day to be DCAing into stocks. But anyways, as for Bitcoin, still holding, trying to hold above this. If we can use that as a resistance or a support and bounce off of this, that would be absolutely fantastic. All right, let's do some Q&A. Let's bring this up right here. All right, let me scroll down. Happy birthday, George. It's not my birthday, so stop making stuff up. Let's see. DXY is running, probably because of all the bad economic data this morning, or inflation data, I should say. Oof. We don't want to see DXY go up like this. 104 is no good. Let's see. You know, funny story about like remembering like private keys. Like for the longest time, I used to remember my StarCraft 2 key. Ever since like high school, I typed it in and installed that game so many times. Like I remember that key like for like 30 years. I think I still remember it, but maybe not. I think I finally forgot about it. Man, but speaking of which, sometimes you just remember something and you just never forget it. What's your take on a BlackRock fund? I don't know. As a retail investor or as an institutional investor? I mean, institutional investors will likely invest in that fund. That fund already has Bitcoin in it. And BlackRock, just overall, BlackRock is very bullish on Bitcoin and crypto overall. They have their fingers in everything. They own miners, they own banks, they have their own funds, they own Bitcoin. I mean, they're in everything. So that is why they, even though no one really likes BlackRock, they will bring in billions to trillions into the market in this next bull run. Man, my nose is super itchy this morning. Can a lot of the previous backing looking TA be invalidated due to how the different economic climate we're living in insane times? Yes. Of course, things tend to rhyme, but doesn't mean that it always happens. But here's the thing. Despite the macroeconomics, despite inflation and everything else that's going on, right, Bitcoin is still following the same path as before. We haven't deviated. If you look at the time frame, You look at leading up to the next halving event. I mean, you could plot this down like this, and it's so similar. So yeah, you can make the argument, of course, if you're trying to psych yourself out and say, well, it's not going to be as good as before because of the macro environment. Well, yes. But if you're looking at our current downtrend, the time we spend in downtrend, the percentage of the downtrend, now the recovery from that downtrend is all so similar to previous cycles. It's not even off that much at all. So yeah, of course we have the good macro environment. It's going to help Bitcoin a lot better, a lot more. But we are still moving according to plan. Appreciate it, AA. Which is more likely first? BTC at 30K or Gina makes appearance at the next Fed meeting? I would say the first option. I would say the first option. Can you look at that chart of VRX? Let us know what you think it might or could do. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not even familiar with that project. It's probably a very small project. It has no market cap, basically. If you look at, yeah, that's not looking good at all. It has basically like no volume. And not on all the major exchanges. Yeah, so I will skip out on that one. Do I still collect Legos? Yes. I actually still have a ton, and there's a ton that I want to buy, but I just have no room for them at all. DocuSign to lay off 10% of its workforce. I mean, there's one good piece of economic data, or no, it's not good. Actually, it's bad too. So I did mention about wholesale price going up, PPI, but also jobless claims. It was forecasted 200,000 people were going to claim unemployment, but only 194,000 did. So that's good. That shows the labor market is still very strong, right? But this is seen as a bad thing. So again, we're in that iffy time where good economic data means bad for the market. And that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. It looks like we did bounce off of there. Getting pretty close. You go snag the black Air Jordan Playoff 13s. Yeah, I've been eyeing on it. I have been notified. I have that shoe notified in my sneakers app. Any potential downside you're concerned about is the contagion. Right now, I'm not concerned about any downside. I mean, from a macro perspective, I think we're just going to get better from here on out. Not right away, but we will get better as we progress later into 2023. The rate hike will stop, You know, the U.S. economy is still very strong. All the economic data is still showing very strong. We are not moving into a deep recession. And of course, we are getting closer to the next halving event. We're about a year away now for Bitcoin, and a year flies by really quickly. So from Bitcoin's perspective, as we get closer to halving event, only good things will happen. You know, I don't really hear about the war escalating anymore. So right now, no, not a whole lot is worrying me. Do you have any other investments in stocks or funds such as S&P 500? No, they're too slow for me. There's like, I don't need something that moves like 2 or 3%. I need something that moves like 100% or 200% in a year. You know, if you wanted something that's slow and steady, with slow and steady growth, something like QQQ or QLD, it's basically QQQ follows a whole bunch of NASDAQ companies, so it's like a tech ETF. QLD is basically a 2x tech ETF. So that could be something good as the market recovers. It could do well. It could still move like 40, 50%, especially the QLD since the 2x multiplier. But for stocks, I just right now I think the best plays probably Coinbase, maybe Silvergate, because I didn't even think about Silvergate. They went up 28% yesterday because BlackRock and others are investing in it. That could be a good play. And Tesla. I mean, other stuff like Microsoft, Apple, they're always good, but they're slow, right? So, Trunk in the Hank, you know, you have asked me 100 times in live chat, Lamborghini on VV this Sunday, getting one? My answer is no. Stop asking it. I don't care about it. I know you're a VV fan, probably, but I really don't care. I could give... I'm not going to say what I'm going to say, but no. The answer is no. My whole future depends on the performance of a doggy coin. Should I be worried? Yes, you should. But that's on you. No one forced you to do that. No one forced you to only hold on one meme coin. All right? You could diversify. There's plenty of other great projects out there. Play games. I have nothing to say about Aptos. You could say it 100 more times. It's not going to make me say anything about it. I'm still neutral on Aptos. It seems to have hit its ceiling. It's not going anywhere. But, you know, I'm still neutral on them. I'm kind of neutral on Algo too, Daniel. I was very disappointed that their involvement with the World Cup led to nothing. You know, it was hyped up that they formed a partnership. There was going to be a lot of NFT stuff that's going to happen around the World Cup. None of that seemed to have happened. So I'm kind of neutral on them at this point too. They're light. They're also light in DeFi and other things that other chains are much stronger in. So that's another reason why. If the richest man in the world loves Dogecoin, then what more do we need? Well, first of all, he's not the richest man in the world anymore, I don't think. Or maybe he became it once again because Tesla stock has been coming up. And second of all, I think a lot of people are still waiting for him to do something with Twitter that incorporates Doge in some way. and it hasn't happened yet, right? What is he cooking in the labs? I think BTC dominance went up a little bit more today. I gotta say, I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again, but I'm actually quite disappointed with the way ETH has been moving. Hopefully that changes when the Shanghai upgrade happens next month, but they have been underperforming, and they should not be. I mean, I didn't even check Ethereum's. Oh man, look at that. Look at how deflationary ETH has become. Minus 24,000 ETH since 154 days ago. I mean, it is starting to fall like a rock. And as more volume comes to Ethereum, that burn will only escalate. Do you think Gala could do a 10x? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I heard claims that JP Morgan controls Ethereum. No, Mike. Don't repeat nonsense FUD. What AI project are you most excited about, if there is any? Peter, to be honest, I'm not excited about any AI projects because I think it's just they're all driven up through speculation, but not a whole lot have changed on any of them. Not one. Not one formed like a partnership with ChatGPT or something like that. They're all still doing the same thing they did a year ago or even 6 months ago. But now people are buying them because they think, oh, you know, AI is hot and maybe some things will happen with these projects. But unfortunately, no. Nothing really happened. So I'm not really excited about any of the AI projects. But could be good speculative play, you know, as the year continues forward. Ooh, it's getting worse for a Dow. Minus 400 now. Yesterday, Munger didn't say nice things about crypto. He will never change his mind about crypto. Yeah. And SBF's 2 bond grand tours are just like 2 Stanford staff members. It was not very exciting. All right. How many BTC do people own? Regardless. I mean, it's not important. What's important is how many BTC do you own? Right, getting up to 1 is a big accomplishment, becoming a whole coiner. But you know, of course, there's many people that have way more than 1, right? But there's many people that have way less than 1. So it's just a matter of, I think, in my opinion, it's a game of accumulation, right? Try to accumulate as many Bitcoins as you can. That's the ultimate goal. And you could do that either through DCAing or by picking up altcoins that outperform Bitcoin, right? And that helps you gain 1 of 2 ways, right? You could also say you could trade. You could try to trade and gain more on Bitcoin, sure. But very rarely do people have success at that. I am Madak on the ERC20 chain. Should I swap to the Polygon network? There's no difference. Just matter if you want to use it. But if you're holding it, they convert the same way, you know, same price. So it just matters if you want to use it or what. No, I did not say accumulate as many Tesla shares as possible. But today, I think Tesla went down. Oh, barely. Barely. I think Tesla may take a breather. Come on. Why is this so slow? I'm going to be picking up a little more at Coinbase today. That's for sure. Anytime Coinbase drops, I'm going to be adding. I want this to come up with Silvergate. Why is it not coming up with Silvergate? Silvergate, I think, could be a good play, too. Come on. It's SI. Well, I don't know why it's not showing up. Anyways, let's try Market Watch. Yeah. Silvergate is still like down like 90 something percent from its high. They're like a crypto friendly bank. But the reason why I think it has potential is because, you know, the reports about Soros and BlackRock, you know, buying huge chunks of Silvergate. If they're buying huge chunks, that means something's going on. That means they're not going to let the bank die for sure. So it could be a good play as well. How many BTCs to be a millionaire next bull run? Well, I say there's a good chance Bitcoin could get to, you know, 200,000. So if that's the case, you need 5 Bitcoins. But just to be sure, maybe you want to have 6 Bitcoins. Something like that. You have a lot of degens in the chat. Do you have any small degen, small cap coins you like or have your eye on that could have potential? No, honestly, I don't. I have not been paying attention to small caps or micro caps. I've been sticking with mid caps, big caps, and Bitcoin because I feel like that's all you need. If you're looking for a 1000x play, you're risking it too much right now. It's like you go to a casino and you got $1,000 rather than try to, you know, play it slow. You just want to put that 1,000 on, I don't know, on 21 or 18, right? I don't know. I just feel like right now is not the time for that. There's still plenty of upside to the well-known projects that have been oversold. They still have a 10x potential. Make your money with them first. Then once you get back to green or you have extra cash, then use that to invest in some of the smaller cap plays that could have like 1000x potential. But, you know, at this point, I don't feel like it's the right time for that. Celsius buyout confirmed, will include retail clawback. Many people worried. What's your opinion? I don't have an opinion on that. I don't know too much about it, and I don't believe this retail clawback. That doesn't even make any sense to me, but I don't have any opinion on it. ACH been on a rocket past month. I think a lot of things have been on a rocket since a month ago. I haven't heard anything else about ACH, but they're in the payment system, right? They help a lot of chains on ramp with fiat, and they do have a tie. They have ties with Binance. They power, I think, Binance Pay. I think in the payment space, they're one of the stronger ones. You can see Bitcoin bounced off pretty good. 24.5 soon. Oh man, now Coinbase up minus 3%. Like right now, overall. Now, like in my opinion, right now is not time to be fearful. There's more time to be greedy than fearful. I just feel like for 2023, we are definitely going to improve overall. Markets will start recovering. Crypto already started, but markets will follow. Everything will follow. The macro conditions are getting better and better and better. They're not getting worse, right? So me overall, I feel like it's time to be more greedy than conservative for 2023. Unless something disastrous happens, which I can't anticipate that. Have I seen Starlink at night? How do you even see it? How do you even see satellites with the naked eye, or with like binoculars or something? Like, how would you even see the satellites? All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall today, US market ain't doing so good, but could flip. Right now it's in the red. We got some bad inflation data. Okay. But you know, overall the economy is still quite strong. Jobless claims is still coming in under. You know, payroll report when it comes out could be spectacular. So U.S. economy is still strong. Inflation is still a little bit high, but things are improving. As for Bitcoin, can it hit possibly $50,000 by the end of this year? Well, many people think so. And if we're using history as a guide, it's certainly possible. So stay strong, my friends. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.